My neighbor Jessica, she's 29, works as a marketing coordinator at a mid-sized tech company, asked me something last week that I can't stop thinking about. Should I be worried about ChatGPT taking my job? Wrong question entirely. Here's what Jessica doesn't realize. And honestly, what I didn't realize until about 18 months ago when I started looking at the actual numbers behind this AI boom. The question isn't whether AI will take your job. The question is whether you'll own the AI that's doing the work. Let me explain what I mean. I spent most of 2022 reading about AI like everyone else. Worried about my writing getting automated, worried about my investments getting managed by algorithms, classic primal brain stuff, focusing on the threat instead of the opportunity. Then I looked at the revenue numbers from OpenAI. They went from 0 to $1.6 billion in annual recurring revenue in less than 2 years. Think about that for a second. $1.6 billion, that money didn't just appear out of thin air. It came from people and businesses paying for AI services, paying monthly subscriptions, paying per API call, paying for enterprise licenses. Every dollar flowing to OpenAI is a dollar that used to go somewhere else. Now here's where it gets interesting. McKinsey estimates the entire AI market will be worth $2.6 trillion by 2030. Not market cap. Revenue, actual money changing hands. But here's the part nobody talks about. That $2.6 trillion has to come from somewhere. It's not new money being printed. It's existing money getting redirected, from wages to capital returns. Let me tell you about my friend Marcus. He's 41, been a financial analyst for 15 years at a regional bank, makes $67,000 a year. Good at his job. Really good. Last month, his bank started using an AI system that does 80% of what Marcus does, but faster. And it doesn't need health insurance or vacation days. Marcus is panicking, updating his resume, looking for other analyst jobs, classic wage earner thinking. But here's what Marcus missed. The AI system his bank bought, it cost them $47,000 per year in licensing fees. That money goes straight to the AI company's shareholders. Marcus earned $67,000. The AI earns $47,000 for its owners. Forever. The difference? Marcus has to show up every day. The AI shareholders collect checks while they sleep. That's the great ownership migration I'm talking about. Look, I get it. When I first started thinking about money this way, it felt wrong, almost predatory, like I was betting against human workers. But then I realized something. The money is moving whether I participate or not. The choice isn't between a world with AI and a world without AI. The choice is between owning a piece of the AI economy or watching it from the outside. So I started asking different questions. Instead of, what jobs will AI replace? I asked, which AI companies are actually profitable? Instead of, how do I protect my income? I asked, how do I get income from AI? Here's what I found. Most AI companies are burning cash faster than a rocket launch. OpenAI, despite that $1.6 billion in revenue, is still losing money. Anthropic raised $4 billion and has maybe $500 million in annual revenue. These aren't investments, they're lottery tickets. But the companies selling the infrastructure, the picks and shovels, different story entirely. NVIDIA's data center revenue went from $3 billion in 2019 to $47 billion in 2023. Microsoft's AI services are adding $10 billion per year to their revenue. Amazon Web Services is charging companies millions to host their AI models. These companies aren't hoping AI works. They're getting paid whether it does or not. Think about the California gold rush. Most miners went broke. But the guy selling shovels, he retired rich. Now, if you're thinking, great, but I can't afford NVIDIA at $900 per share, stay with me. You don't need to buy individual stocks. You can get exposure through ETFs that hold baskets of AI infrastructure companies. Some of them cost $50 per share, some less than that. The key is starting, even if it's $25 per month. Because here's the thing about exponential trends. The difference between getting in early and getting in late isn't linear. It's exponential too. Let me give you the framework I use to think about this. Every month, I take 10% of whatever I earn and buy shares of companies that profit from AI infrastructure. Not AI chatbots or AI art generators. Infrastructure. The boring stuff that makes AI possible. Cloud computing, semiconductor manufacturing, data center construction, enterprise software, companies that get paid regardless of whether AI creates the next iPhone or just makes existing processes 20% more efficient. I treat it like a utility bill, non-negotiable. Before I pay rent, before I buy groceries, I pay myself first by buying ownership stakes in the AI economy. Wild, right? Most people do the opposite. They pay everyone else first. Landlord, grocery store, streaming services, and invest whatever's left over, which is usually nothing. But think about it this way. Your landlord takes your money and probably invests it in real estate. Netflix takes your $15 per month and invests it in content and technology. Your grocery store takes your money and invests it in supply chain optimization. You're funding other people's capital ownership with your labor income. Why not flip that script? Here's what I tell people who ask me about AI and jobs. The real risk isn't that AI will replace you. The real risk is that you'll spend the next 5 years worried about being replaced instead of positioning yourself as an owner. Because here's the part nobody tells you. This transition is going to take time. We're not talking about an overnight job apocalypse. We're talking about a decade-long shift where more and more economic value gets created by machines instead of humans. But the people who own those machines, they're going to do extremely well. Now, if you're someone who earns a regular paycheck but feels like you're always behind financially, this is probably the biggest opportunity you'll see in your lifetime. Not because AI is magic, but because most people are asking the wrong questions. They're asking, how do I protect what I have? Instead of, how do I get what the wealthy have? And what the wealthy have is ownership. They own businesses. They own real estate. They own shares in companies that generate cash flow. The AI revolution is just the latest chapter in the same old story. Technology creates value. That value flows to capital owners. Wage earners get squeezed. The only way out is to become a capital owner yourself. Here's your move. Tonight, before you go to bed, open your brokerage app and set up an automatic monthly transfer, even if it's just $50. Buy an AI infrastructure ETF, something boring and diversified. You're not betting on AI hype. You're betting on the economic reality that someone has to own the machines.